Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show this evening. Tonight's guest, we have Jerry Elster. We're going to do a part two. The first part was so good, we addressed some serious issues. And we're going to do a part two, so we're going to bring on Jerry and allow him to continue with the conversation that we were having. And welcome back to the show, my brother.
Thanks for having me back again.
Right on, right on. We got some good things we were talking about. We was on the road, so we're going to continue and talk about the things that need to be heard by the community, by society, because they don't hear the things that we're talking about. In the community, like I say, they kind of stereotype us that we went to prison for whatever crime we went to prison for. We're supposed to be in prison for the rest of our life. We're never supposed to get out, put the key on a jackrabbit and cut them loose, and that's not the case. A lot of people go to prison to get educated.
Right.
Do the metamorphosis yourself. You go on to college. You finna get a doctor's degree.
Yeah.
My goodness, how could that happen? So give us a story on that, my brother.
Well, when I first I made a decision to turn my life around, right, and turn my will over to my higher power. I was reading. I found out. The state make us take these things called the TADE test.
Uh-huh.
I was a prison gang leader at that time, right? Who had got tired of just being tired and decided something had to change.
Right.
So I started touching tangible things in my life. I said, well, let me try to improve educationally, right? Because I truly wanted to change at that point. So I took this TABE test, which I had been denying, would refuse to take before, and found I was reading below a 7th grade education.
Wow.
I had brothers, I was seeing in thousands, ready to move when I wanted to move, right, with this foolishness. And they was following somebody that was reading below a 7th grade education. Wow. I was embarrassed. Wow. So anyway, to say the least, I started educating myself. That was an area I started strengthening in there. And once I got a bite of education or academia, I just became, it became insatiable for me, right?
Yeah.
So I knew I had 2 associate degrees, a vocational trade, and I was like, what next? Now here I sit, PhD candidate from coming up from my first residence in Hawaii.
Wow. Wow. Is that right? Right on, man. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you. Well, they say if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
And that's a fact.
It's true. I mean, we apply ourselves. I think we have certain impediments in society that tells us, starting from like I spoke of earlier on the previous show, the school, the prison pipeline, the miseducation we got, where people told us we was incorrigible.
Right.
I was one of them kids that they told had to be on what they call it, when the ADD. Yeah. I was one of those kids, right? Yeah. And my mother refused to give me the medication. Anyway, but I thought I was incorrigible. I thought it was intended for me to live just the way I was supposed to be lived, and that's what society had. That's the message they had given me.
Right, right.
But then I went on later on and thrived in a closed environment, and not only in that environment, once I paroled, continued to thrive. I've been out here. I've been from an entry-level job. Now I'm a manager, supervisor.
That's right on.
Over an organization where I'm helping people like myself and people in the community to put their lives back together.
Right. Well, like I say, we have success stories from prison. And like I said, people say we go in there and we go out and we start driving iron and different things, and we become monsters, and that's what we're supposed to be. Majority of people that go in prison for a long period of time, they do what I call the metamorphosis.
Yeah. After
a period of time, being locked up, been told what to do, how to do it, when to do it, you get tired of that.
Well, I think at a time, and what I think the blessing I received was that I think that anybody can change if given the opportunity. Sure. I think that a lot of times people are held into the stigmatizations of their pasts. You're being called animals. You're being treated like an animal. Right. You're being told you're incorrigible, less than. So people respond like that.
Sure.
But as soon as that veil is lifted and challenges are presented to you, and you're with the opportunity to move above those challenges, the average person I see rise above those challenges.
Right, exactly.
If you can make it through some of the situations and the dire straits that we come from in our community, then you can make it through all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's just making the right decision.
That's right. Well, some people want to change, don't know how to change, don't know how to wear the tools to get to change. But once the tools are given, like you say, they give an opportunity, the majority of people change.
The majority of them rise to the occasion. It's just like in the open prison is a Xerox copy of the open society, a micro schism of what society is like out here. You have that small percentage of people who, for whichever reason, usually mental issues, can't thrive above those situations without medication and stuff. Same like in society, we have some of those folks who are put in this dire strait because of mental restraints and stuff that can't arise. The majority of people in society do strive.
Sure they do.
And so
Sure they do. Yeah,
it's the same thing in there.
the same thing.
And if you look at the maturation stage that in life, I mean, the average male, they say, don't mature fully until he's 25 years old.
Exactly.
Right? Our statistics show that the average person who offend from the age of 15 to 25. So we start maturing in that prison.
That's right.
Right. So the average person that goes into prison, especially a person who's going to be a long-term prisoner, is usually somebody who's young, who don't have those tools that you those necessary cognitive tools that you spoke of.
Right.
But they develop. They're going to develop.
They're going to develop. They're going to develop.
It's statistically proven that they're going to develop, and that's why the majority of people, once they make that decision, do excel. Exactly.
Well, just like I said, the study they had, that long periods of time does not help. If you're a certain age when you go to prison, and you become that 25 and older, and you've changed.
That's
You're
right.
The light's gonna come on, and you're gonna do something different because you want to be part of society. You watching these movies on television, you think about what you used to do in life. You say, my goodness, if I can just walk on the beach one more time, if I can just, my old girlfriend, my first girlfriend, if I can just
Smell
certain
the
things,
trees,
smell the trees,
I used to think about the campfires when I was a kid.
Yeah, isn't that something?
You learn to miss some of the craziest things.
What I call it, the little things in life.
Yeah.
You miss the little things, like seeing a dog walk down the street. I was in a situation once when I was in Pelican Bay, and I went to get a package, and they chained us together and walked down this long walkway. We go inside, and I walked inside, and they put us in holding tanks. We sitting in holding tanks, and this rock waller comes in. Got the package laying down on the floor. This rock waller comes in, he's smelling the packages. And I go to the balls, man, I'm looking like, man, look at that.
Pretty dog.
Pretty beautiful dog. I said, man, that's what I want, rock waller, so I can raise him. And I come to myself, I'm the only one at the bars looking. Man, I back up and sit down. I say, when last time you seen a dog, man? On TV, So little things.
That's right. I remember when I first went in, this brother Willie, who ended up dying in prison, told me about the first time he saw a plane. He had been in prison since the 50s.
Wow.
And he died in the 80s, right? He said when he saw a plane, first time he had saw a plane, it was like, man, it looks enormous. I can't even imagine. He couldn't imagine, but it was hard for me to conceptualize what he was talking about until I got out and saw my first cell phone.
Yeah, and that cell phone was a trip. I tell you, it was, man. Yeah. Yeah. I know what you went through with that cell phone.
Yeah, little computer in your hand.
In your hand.
Like, this is weird. We're not even allowed to really operate on a full functioning.
No.
What they call internet. Capable computer in there, but you have this little cell phone where you can Google everything from anywhere.
That's right.
And so, I kind of think back to Willie when I see things like that.
That's really something. Yeah. Well, we've been given the opportunity to come home to be able to do things that we wish to do, we want to do, and I tell people every day, I got another blessed day above ground.
Yes.
One more day to get something right today. I don't know what it is when I wake up in the morning, but I know in that period of the day I'm gonna get something right, and the choices that I make in that period of the day is my choice.
That's right. And that's what it's all really about. It's not about good and bad. It's about choices. What do you do with those choices? The decisions you make, which can be good or bad.
Sure.
And we learn to kind of measure those out.
Right. Exactly. It's up to the individual.
That's right.
So to change the choices is me. It's my choice. I can change it when I want to.
That's right. But also, I mean, as a society, we have a way. Society has a way of putting certain impediments in front of you, roadblocks in front of you too, and that's something that a message we gotta get to society. People do deserve a second chance.
Sure.
And people will change if given the opportunity.
Sure.
I'm not saying make any special efforts. I'm saying just don't make those special efforts toward the detriment.
Exactly. If a person go into the system inside, and if he's not working to get back outside, well, he ain't supposed to be back outside.
Exactly. I mean, I think that I think that you can probably agree with this. The change starts before you hit the bricks.
Exactly.
The change starts in there. We see men who, and I think, at least for me, I know I played some of the foolish games as a youth. When I became a man, just like the Bible, I put all childish things away.
Exactly.
So I started changing in there. I started changing over 20-something years ago. I went from 1989 to 2009, 20 years without having any write-ups.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, that was something. that would have been impossible for the younger Jerry.
It would have been. Yeah, it would have been. Yeah. And like you say, things change. The mental capacity change. Everything changes. Everything changes with time. Age and wine get better with time. Everything changes with time. So the individual human being changes with time. You're young, then you get old, and you go on. But everything changes, and we have to change with time. We got our generation, our young generation coming up now. We got our children, our grandchildren coming up now, and they are future. So a few weeks ago, I had the youth on, and they was talking about the election. That was a cold thing, man. For youngsters talk about the election, they concerned about the election. What's going to happen next?
That's right. I mean, put a lot of people in very precarious position.
Yes.
People are really stressing over that.
Over the election,
But I think the power, people got to realize that the power truly lies in the people. Is how you utilize it. Again, back to choices.
Exactly. Well, like I say, with us, it's business as usual. If we survived the '60s, the '50s, we got this.
Know what it is, right?
we got this. So life goes on, and we're gonna be all right, and we're gonna keep on moving on because it's nothing that we can't conquer. Nothing that we can't conquer. We went into the system one way, and the light came on, educated ourselves to come outside and continue our education, and we know that we want to be something different next year or the year after,
I mean, and it's important that people, our community, be able to see those changes because we got young men and young women that's in the same dire straits that we were in. And I mean, I can't think of seeing people at such a successful level, which today to me is just life. Master's level, PhD. When I was coming up, I don't think I had a PhD candidate nowhere in my family. Matter of fact, I think the highest we went was a GED or a high school diploma. And it's sad because when you get to see the broader world, that it was like that. So I think that's important for our people to see us succeed as they saw our demise go through the system.
Right.
They need to see the recovery and the rehabilitation,
right.
the rehabilitative process to know that there is second chance and to know that there is hope.
Exactly.
Our communities, a lot of our youngsters feel hopeless.
They do. They really do. They really do. I came on and I gave a talk, and the youngsters gave me like, why should I listen to what the older generation is saying? They ain't do nothing for us.
That's right.
They left us in a rut. I said, whoa, and it's true.
And you look at some of the examples they get to see, but they don't get to see our successes that much.
Exactly.
The examples they get to see are those who, again, because of arrested development through the system or drugs or something like that, or mental thing, they get to see them return to the society and they become homeless and feeding on one another. And you got that nihilistic type of behavior within the community from these supposed to be, which they call OGs, right?
Right.
So when they look at us, they don't know how to look at us through different vision.
They don't.
So it's like, but that's why it's important for us to first of all remember that we do have a responsibility.
Sure we have
an obligation toward our community and our youth, but to ourselves.
To ourselves first, yeah.
And the integrity part comes in there, and not just because people are looking, but because of who we are and how we feel, and that's what the youth gets, and they get to see. I think it gives them hope.
Yeah, it gives them hope. It gives them hope. Well, that's why we have this show, because we want to tape what we're saying. We want to be able to put it on that one-eyed monster, and allow them to sit down and listen to what you're saying, because it's something for us to say things, but it's something for the youngsters to look at us and they say, hey, well, shoes, if Jerry can do it, I can do it.
And that's the message to me, because I believe that I'm 53 years old. I mean, I have a career, a nice career. I mean, I go all over the country doing my work. I don't really I don't need the PhD to do my work, but I need to be walking what I'm talking.
Right, exactly.
And so I think I want that to my life to be that example. When I said I changed my life and the way I thought and the way I behaved, I asked my higher power to guide me, but I said I would do something each day, and that continues to to change the person that I am.
Every day.
And so each day I do things.
Right.
And I do things with the hope that we have a better tomorrow, not just for me, but be a universal example, hopefully, I know.
Exactly. Well, like we say we're a work in progress.
That's right.
It's ongoing. It's ongoing. It's never going to stop. I was, at one time in my life, I lived a certain lifestyle coming up before I went to prison. I remember an old gentleman told me, "Young blood," he said, "games to be sold, not to be told."
Mm-hmm.
So what? And I lived with that for a long time. So I went to prison. I said, "Wait a minute, no, he lied to me."
Mm-hmm.
You got to get this away. If you don't give it away, you're gonna be punished for it.
That's right. If you don't give it, I mean, you receive when you give.
Exactly, exactly.
And that goes back to those choices and stuff.
Right.
Making the wise, or I ain't gonna say the wise choice.
Right, the wise choices, choices, right.
And in those choices, it's giving, it's passing on, being the example. Gandhi talked about be the change that you want to see in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I cannot keep walking around this world a muddy, soiled factor and expect to come or to get clean, pure results.
Yeah, it's not gonna work.
You have to be the change that you want to see in this world, and that's, I mean, pretty much how I live my life.
Yeah, that's a good way to live it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good way to live it.
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We got to shine. We got to shine because I always say there's somebody watching us. If it's not the little child, there's somebody watching us.
If it's just the elements alone, you talked about the dog and walking amongst the trees, and I talked about the grass and stuff like that. I mean, all that's an example. How you care for yourself is how you're gonna care for your environment around you.
Exactly. Yeah. I say if I came home from prison and my mother she lived 11 months and she passed on, but she waited for me to come home for 27 years and 9 months. She waited for me to come home, and she lived 11 months, and she passed. But she gave me her sign of approval. Coming home, said, "I'm proud of you. What you doing? I'm proud of you. Your work you're doing, so I'm proud of you." So I got my sign of approval from my number one girl, and she moved on. And I promised her that I'm gonna work for the rest of my life to make you happy. So that's something we got to promise, and we got to do it. We got to work. We got to move on. In that transition housing, like I say, I'm having problems getting in with CDCR. Be able to sit down with them, but somebody somewhere knows how to get in there.
Yeah.
And somebody gonna call in, somebody gonna get at me and say, hey man, this is how you get in and sit down and talk to these people. I got a board of directors. All I need to do is get in, sit down, and show up my proposal so we can get this show on the road for these long-term offenders coming on for a smooth transition.
And it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
I mean, in my case, I think that as far as, and I feel it, I think that my higher power was pulling me away from more the activism work and started to move toward a more home type of.
But see, your thing is this. Your thing is this here. See, everybody got something to do.
That's right.
It's already planned. It's already written out for us.
That's right.
Right. So what you've done,
that was my job.
That was your job. You was at the right place at the right time at the right time. You
and
did
I
that. You did that. So now you're going somewhere else. So you moving on to another plateau, so to speak, and it's gonna work out.
But those challenges, the ones with the roadblocks that you're finna exhaust. I ain't even say win, because it's not about winning and losing. Those roadblocks that people are trying to throw that you're going to exhaust, and they're going to recognize the importance.
Sure.
Those are going to be the ones for the next generation.
For the next generation.
That's coming out.
That's right. Because we left a lot of people behind. A lot of good people behind.
A lot of good people.
A lot of good people, and they need to be out here. Even more so the sisters, because the women, they went to prison for some cold crimes that was brought on them. They really didn't want to do this, but they had to do that. They get out of the situation.
You had some men.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That's the sad part.
And they had to do that, so they need to be reunited with their children.
That's right. They got that family unity.
Exactly, and they don't have no programs that they can have a house. They got a co-ed spot, but they need a spot for the women to come home and be able to reunite with their children after a long period of time. And this is what we're trying to work to do. So somebody somewhere need to get in contact with me or us and allow us to go in and sit down with these people so we can present this proposal and make it work for these people.
I mean, the sad thing about it is you're looking at, we have not, and we couldn't do it in the time that's allowed us. Look at all the impediments that's being put up against us. I mean, when I was young, we called them poverty pimps, right?
Exactly.
People who said they had the resources, who came as though they had the resources, but really was to our detriment. You have people screaming right now, restorative justice is that's the sexy thing.
Yeah.
And you have these people going into our institution, allowed into our institution with their liberal ideas about what it takes to survive in society, right? But taking that same cold-hearted stance against any true, real change. I mean, I had a group that's supposed to be real proper out here, where they were sending people in to work with these women. So I had an opportunity to sit and understand some of their challenges. What put me to shame at even being a man, because recognize that most of them are in jail as a result of some man.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
Let's go.
I had a chance to go to the board and help this sister get out, and this program, because I helped her get out, kicked all their volunteers out of the prison because they didn't like the fact that we was helping somebody get out.
Really?
And this is restorative justice.
Whoa. Yeah. Well, we know what it is. I mean, if any kind of way we can help you to get out, we're not gonna do it.
Yeah, they're not. And so we gotta be careful. Although I think restorative justice is the next best thing, best apple pie, because restorative justice talks about restoring relationships, whereas criminal justice looks at crime as the adversarial role. You did this to him, so you got to be punished.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And who did it, need to be punished. But restorative justice says no. There is a crime here. There's a wrong here, but it's the most serious part of that wrong is a broken relationship. We need to find a way to restore these relationships, hold people accountable, but at the same time restore the relationship and return both sides to wholeness. Because even that person probably that went out that far to commit a crime, it's hurting too.
Sure it is.
So we need to find a way to restore those relationships and stuff like that. Restore people to wholeness. The problem has to be a human. We need human results for human problems, and these and social ills that create crime is a human problem.
Sure it is.
So I love restorative justice, but I'm just talking about those who have jumped on the bandwagon and utilizing that opportunity just for the fun part or to continue the punishment. I mean,
Yeah. We have to we got to put things in the right perspective, in the right order, because like I say, if it's not, it'll constantly be abused.
Oh yeah, and those are the people. The reason I'm saying is those are the people that our system allows in to bring message.
Yeah.
And those people are taking the wrong message. They don't bring a message of redemption, a message of rehabilitation. They bring this message of punishment and deserving. You deserve to be punished. It's you against them type of thing, where they get you to say, well, okay, I'm fully accountable. And once you become fully accountable to them, you still are that offender. You still are, less than to them. I mean, our whole society needs to be healed.
Sure. Everything needs to be put on the table. Everything.
That's right.
Not half, but the whole pie needs to be put on the table.
It's the reason this child was stealing the bike.
Exactly.
It was the reason this child was stealing food. It's the reason this person was on drugs.
Exactly.
I mean, drug is not really the problem. It's something behind that. That's just one of the symptoms. We got to get to the root, and the root is restoring relationships.
Exactly. That's what it's about. Last week I had my son on the show, and I wanted to. I went to prison when my son was 12 years old. He's 42 years old now. So I wanted him to tell society, community, how it affected him. I mean, tremendously. He was shot 3 different times over a period of 27 years and 9 months. He went to the state and the federal penitentiary. And I wanted to tell him why, what happened. And it was really something to me. What he said. I said, "Wow, goodness, is that right, Dad? I needed things. I needed that. My friends had shoes. My friends had this. I needed things.
That's right.
Over a period of time, I got addicted to money. I said, whoa. So it's a reason for people doing things.
And it is, and that's why I keep saying I equate it to addiction, because addictive behavior.
Right.
And that's what I think we acquire. We acquire addictive behavior when you've been denied or deprived of different resources. Not to say this excuses, but when you're being deprived or denied different resources, a behavior pattern is going to come where you're going to get it. If you can't get it this way, you're going to get it the best way you know how. And when you get something like that, I mean, how do you walk away? I told myself I didn't use. My father was a co-addict. I said I would never use drugs. I would never sell drugs. But then after selling my first joint, right, and crumbling that little dollar in my hand, I'm like,
get good.
Well, I can do this for a little while longer, right?
Sure.
And it becomes addictive behavior, and that's really what led up to me getting in an altercation I did, what resulted in the loss of that young man's life over a gang altercation. But I thought I would just deal with just the weed part.
The
addictive behavior. Once you buy into it, it's like, how do you release? How do you tell a hungry man, okay, you've eaten enough?
You can't do that. You can't do it. You can't do it. But we appreciate the work you're doing, man. We really do. You're doing some outstanding work. We got people that's turning their lives around and doing things that they thought they could never do, and it's helping the communities. It's helping the children. It's helping the woman, the old lady, the wives, whatever it is. It's helping in the community, and we need to build the community. This is how we need to build a community, by one brick at a time. We got to build a wall at one brick at a time. and we got to build a foundation, then build a brick wall, and we got to make that wall stand, and that's what we got to do. That's what we're here for. You know, we were sent back for a reason.
That's right.
You know, a lot of people ain't coming back. A lot of people ain't never coming back.
I just hope the wall we build ain't like what Trump is talking about.
No, we know.
We talking about a wall of inclusivity.
Exactly. So we're gonna continue doing the work that we're doing, and the work that you're doing, we commend you. I mean, really, man, you're a role model. You're a role model for the youngsters, the people that's coming out of prison. That if he can come home and do it, we can come home and do it.
That's right.
And that's what we want. We want them to see that, to see this show. We want them to see what you're doing, and yeah, you can do it. All you got to do is just do it. You know what they say to old Mike, just do it.
Right.
You know, just get out here and come back into the world. Go in front of the board of prison terms. Tell them what they want to hear. Don't go in there jiving and saying, well, okay, it happened. No, whatever's on that paper, that's what happened. Go in there and tell them what they want to hear. Gets found suitable, come out here and go to work. It's just that simple, man. So we want to thank Jerry for coming on tonight. Jerry, continue to work, man. We appreciate your work, man. Right on, brother. Right on, brother. So on Saturday night at 7 o'clock, you can look at the Wendell Elamine James show. On every other Thursday at 6:30, we have live interviews, and you can call in for those shows. So January, we're going to be up and running again. We're going to do this for the next year, for as long as they allow me to do it. And we're going to make the community, we're going to give the community a chance to sit in their living rooms and examine us, you know, look at what we're doing. You know, we're doing things because we want to do things, not because somebody else is making us do what we're doing. We're doing it to show them that society at large, we are part of society and we ain't going nowhere. We're here, we're back, we're part of this community. We're going to have the house up on the hill with a white picket fence in a dog named spot. That's what we're here for. We be back and be part of society. So we're here to make a difference, to enlarge our community what it should be, and take the young generation and change with what they could be in life. So keep on watching the show. January, we're going to continue the support group on once a month. I don't know the date in January, but it'll be viewed in the weeks to come. And keep on watching the show. Pay attention to what we're saying. Thank you and have a good evening.